So this is a, we'll figure out the year when I get it dug out, but I know the last time we used it was, I think, around 92 or 1993. Like I said, we'll figure out the exact year of the scooter after I get it dug out. But so she's been sitting in here. We're in for a long time. This is like a shed on the property with a. I got a boat. I should have done a video on that whole floor and transom and all that. Anyway, there's some parts kind of blocking it in, but I'm gonna get you on a tripod and we'll try to drag this scooter out of here. Let's start by moving the machine. That sucks. This got cracked. This is just trash at this point. Little covers. Okay, so here it is. I'll get you a couple quick shots. Tagged in 93. Before I push it up the hill to the workshop. Maybe we can find a year on it. That was a 49cc 2-stroke engine, oil injection. There's the oil container under the seat. Have a seat popper somewhere, but once I get it in the shop, I might. Well, that's a tiny little carburetor. Rather get a little water. I don't really want to scratch it more. Get a little water and clean it off. That's a little overview. Mirrors broke off. Tires are dry rotted. So I'm hoping y'all could see it's 3,678 miles. It's in pretty good shape. Like I said, it's been sitting 30 years. There's looks like squirrels chewed it here on the hand grip. The turn signal moves, the high-low beam moves, the horn at least moves, and I feel the front brake cable's not locked. The throttle actually twists. That feels a little sticky. I've got it up on this table now, just because I didn't feel like kneeling down. So went from being a little low to a little high. But it actually has the key. There's the light. Let's see here. Looks like there's duct tape on the spark plug. And when I was pressure washing, I noticed right there the ground is chewed on by probably mice or squirrels, not sure which. I know there's definitely squirrels were in that building where this was stored. So I guess I'm just going to give you all a quick little view of a little close up. That's missing a bolt, it's kind of bent a little. That could be straightened up a little bit at least. Let's see what I'm just gonna pop the seat. There we go. So the tank there in the middle is the holds the two-stroke oil for the oil injection, battery obviously, and fuel tank. So I guess let's take a look in there and see how rusty that is. If I can even get the cap off. Wow, it's coming off. Oh wow, that looks brutal. That's the cap I just took off. And looks, just from what I can see, it smells horrible. But that's to be expected. This thing has literally been sitting for 30 years. I still haven't found what model it is. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's an 80 something, maybe even an 88. Not sure. We'll figure that out. But it's last tagged in '93, so it's been sitting in that shed since 1993, and it's 2023. Pretty cool. Let's see if it'll take some air. That's 24 psi. That's what it was rated for. I just thought I'd zoom in on the some of the dry rot on the tire. Not sure if you can see it on the camera, but it's pretty bad. We'll go ahead and just inflate it today and see if it's holding some air tomorrow. I'm gonna go ahead and try the back one, and it. Camera does not like to zoom in on that. It's a digital screen on that little Ryobi pump, but it's sitting at about 25 psi. Looks like it's bubbling there around that nut. If the camera's picking that up, but it looks like it's leaking around that valve stem. So I would think this is a tube. Not sure. We'll see. I'm sure I'm going to end up having to get tires, but tubes and everything. Go ahead and check the air filter. Shit, I didn't realize it had a little screw there too. This could have mice in it. That's just a weird design. There. A little persuasion. Alright, well, so it looks like some spider web action over there. There's like some, it covers some. Not sure what that is just yet. Looks like it might be the coil. So the coil for the spark plug is under the same cover as the air filter. I guess they have a lot of space issues on this little thing. You know, it's a small area to work. So I don't know what we're gonna find in here yet. It's what I expected. It's just gone. My finger's just going right into it. Let's I wonder how available parts are for this. Wow. It's just like gone. It's almost sticky too. Almost think I want to just vacuum that up. I also saw this, an aftermarket, this coil pack. I saw that's available, an aftermarket version. Trying to think of what else I saw. Not sure why that's taped. That's good. The plug loosened up. That's always a good thing. You know what, I hope there's no, I did pressure wash this. Get that off too. I don't think there's any, I don't really want to think though, I'd rather know. Does that come apart? Looks like it's already apart, so it's got some 10mm. I might just pop that cover real quick to make sure there's not debris that's going to fall down in the cylinder. This probably isn't necessary, but I don't know. The more I look at this thing, I can tell there's going to be issues. Like, I guess it'd be better if I was looking at it, but on the other side there's like a little oil, an inline pump for this oil. You just wonder what are the odds, because I'm sure it's like a little rubber diaphragm, like what are the odds that that's in working condition. And then there's that'd be better, I'll show y'all. Wait and just show you. Okay, cool. Wow, creepy. Oh my gosh, this is after pressure washing. Look at that. Eesh. Yeah, so that all needs to be vacuumed out. I might, yeah, let's just leave this and go to vacuuming again. Look at that tiny cylinder, that's hilarious. just vacuumed it. That helped some. It's obviously still a mess. There's obviously spiders and worms and all kinds of stuff in there, but it's kind of weird. It's like they lived there for a long time, made a mess, and then they're just gone. So, but I kind of grabbed the flywheel, and it's turning. It sort of stuck for a second. I think it was stuck just a little, and it broke loose. So I think I'll go ahead and continue pulling the plug. I remember I was worried it was debris was going to go down in the cylinder. I've kind of done all I can do to prevent that. I'm going to continue pulling this, and then I think I'm going to spray a little lube down in there. But it doesn't seem to be stuck, but it was a little stuck. Let's see, how's that look? Looks rich. I mean, this is a 2-stroke. Looks fine. What is it? BPR 4HS NGK. There it goes for sure. Alright, that's good. Yeah, it was a little crunchy. I'm sure I don't know if the camera picked it up. Just feeling if it's got some compression. Definitely got some. We're going to do a compression check and a boroscope. Just not right this minute. That's cool. Alright, here we go again. I'm going to attempt to film a little bit of this boroscope action here. So, let's see it down the cylinder. So that's the piston is all the way down, and those are the intake and exhaust ports, because this is a 2-stroke motor. So the ports are in the cylinder. Let's see. Looks like a tiny bit of, if you look on the left there, right there, I don't know if you can see my finger. That looks like a little bit of vertical scarring right there. It's not like it's horribly rusted. I didn't know if it was going to be, you know, just a big old rust ball. That's the piston coming up. Now it's going down. Okay, let's get this cover off of this torque converter clutch and just take a look at the belt, because I'm just kind of getting an idea of the whole the condition of the whole machine here, you know. It looks like most of these are missing. The belt. The belt actually says Honda on it. There's the inside of the cover. That's like a little bit of belt rubber. So this is an 84 model. And I'm pretty sure that stud right there. Yeah. See that right there? In the later models, the newer models, I don't know exactly, it might have been the 85s, 86s, or 87s, somewhere in there. This continued through this cover and had a little Kickstarter that you would fold out. So you'd basically like fold it out and you could kickstart this thing from here. So yeah, I'm trying to understand how this works. I guess obviously this is the crank and this is a centrifugal torque converter type clutch. Belt feels really tight, but it says Honda on it. And this is the starter here, the starter Bendix. Yeah, so that jumps out. There we go. That jumps out and makes contact with this ring gear here and turns over the motor. And see how it's slipping there? So this uses centrifugal force. I think as it speeds up, there's like springs with weights that go outward and then engages this belt, which would then engage the back tire. Pretty cool. Kind of like a go-kart. A little bit different, but real similar. Well, a go-kart with a torque converter. That's cool. So I have an old marine battery that I want to try turning this over. I'll just run jumper cables to the marine battery and over to here for now before we invest any money in this. Looks like I got to do a little wiring repairs first, but I don't want to have this disgusting tank hooked up to this carburetor even just to turn it over. So I think I'm going to start with just disconnecting these lines. And quick little overview, at least from what I think. I'm pretty sure this is like an electric choke. This is the carburetor. That's an electric choke. That's the throttle coming in, and then these two are the lines that go back to the tank. And I'm honestly not sure what that is. It might be some sort of weird factory filter. Not sure. Have to research. But it doesn't seem to be a petcock. There's no on-off. So I guess I could. Yeah, I'd rather have the lines disconnected. Let's just pull, or at least try to pull the lines. Man, that wire is brittle. The wire going to that electric choke is brittle. Let's see if. So I'm guessing that's a rubber hose with like a braided, some sort of vinyl or something. Oh my gosh, that didn't sound good. What if that was that sounded bad. There it goes. Oh, it just ripped in half. So that sound was the inner rubber hose just breaking off. This is a extremely tight working cord. I don't know if you look at a tiny little shock. That's hilarious. Yeah. I don't even know if I really need to get that. See if it just snaps like the other one. Yep, okay, it just snapped. Just gonna do the same thing. There it it goes. Oh man, that just pulled the entire nipple out of the carb. Okay, so it's a little precarious, not exactly perfect, but you know, trying to just see what she does before investing any money. So I have these. So this is the old 12-volt battery, some jumper cables. Hoping this chewed ground seems like it's making a connection. We'll see. Just want to see if it'll turn over. We're going over to this battery. It's a huge marine battery, and we've got the fuel disconnected. So let's touch the positive on and just see. Let's see. I'm pretty sure the key is off here. Yeah. So the key is off. Let's just touch the positive and see what happens. Nothing initially. We're gonna go ahead and clamp her on. Don't know if we even really have a connection. Let's see. Does anything happen when we turn the key? Nothing so far. Oh, it's acting like it's got nothing. See, the key's on, no turn signal. It might not even have a good connection. This is on. It's got. Oh, I didn't even have the key on. It's got lock. It's got lock, off, on. Let's go back over there to the other side. Oh shoot, tail light's on. I don't know if y'all can see this tail light right here is on. That's cool. Oh, I think I heard it fry. I heard the little relay, probably for the turn signal, made a sound, and that did it again. Actually, it is coming on real dim. It's coming on and staying on. That's hilarious. Yeah, so it's just coming on and staying on. That's amazing. Those bulbs have been sitting there 30 years and they still come on. Pretty cool. Okay. I want some horn action. Oh, that was all she wanted to do. I don't know, we might not have a real good connection. Let's I'm gonna hit the start button, see if it does anything. It might have to do the brake, I don't remember. It's got a little like a parking brake here. It might have to be on. Holy cow. Let me go around the other side. Yeah, so the parking brake on, and it actually just turned over. Oh, it's really weird. It's like you gotta push. Let me put you on a tripod. Well, I know you won't be able to. Like sounds like the Bendix isn't jumping out. Let's hit that with a little lube too. So there's the starter Bendix back there.
Hey, while y'all are enjoying the crackling of the sweet cabinet fire, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thanks.
Hopefully y'all can see that. So it looks horrible, but I believe most of that crap you're looking at is actually gummed up fuel and not necessarily rust on the tank. That's part of the sending unit for the fuel gauge. Guess I could go ahead and take that out. I might just go ahead and do that next. Go ahead and just get this sending unit out, get this tank off. This is now the, I'm looking into the gas tank. You back up, you see the whole thing there? So this is the gas tank again, and so this is after the Delphi treatment, the supposed to remove like fuel, grime, varnish, rotted gas. I guess that means it does look better, I think, right? So you could actually see some silver. Obviously it still looks horrible. It's been soaking overnight. Okay, so now this is I've emptied out the gas tank from the Rust-Oleum, the rust remover, and rinsed it with water. So that what you see is a little bit of water. That's the vacuum petcock part that sticks up. It might be like a filter. But okay, so it's not perfect, but man, so much better, right? Like, definitely not perfect. So much better though. I think that was actually, well, it was $30 worth of chemicals, because it was the Delphi, the two different treatments. What I might do, I'm afraid, because it might flash rust, I'm hoping it won't flash rust if it's full of fuel, so I'll fill it completely. But I'm probably going to have to order one of those kits where you basically do exactly what I just did, and then it includes a coating that, you know, seals over in a hard coating to protect the steel from rusting. Get these wires unplugged in the. That's for the sending unit for the gas gauge, which is up on the handlebars. There we go. Okay. One tank free. Yay. I sprayed a little ether in it. Pulled the plug and put ether right down the I know it's a two-stroke and you shouldn't do that, but I'm going to, and I lubed the cylinder right before I did that. I would turn it right off. Just want to hear it even just pop a little bit. I wonder how charged that battery is. Got a charger on it now. Let's see if that makes any difference. Okay, the carburetor is put back on. Plan for right now, I'm going to pour 2-stroke gasoline. It's a 50-to-1 mix I have in this can. That was probably way too much. Perfect. And let's just see if this thing will go on fire. So, I'm going to, that was a lot of gas. I hope I don't regret that. Just get the battery rehooked. I was having a problem with, I don't know if it's the ignition. There it goes. This ignition, I think, is a little probably corroded. Okay, I hope this thing don't turn into a fireball. I can put a little shot of ether in there. I just don't know. Supposedly some of the new starting fluid has a lubricant in it, but that stuff is it's kind of known for washing the cylinders. But that maybe that was enough gas to about fill the float bowl. Let's try that. Light's still on. Let's see, is that starter getting hot? A little warm. I did not check to see if the exhaust is plugged up in any way. Looks like stuff has been going in there, but hopefully it's just a little bit. Let's just see if there's any fuel sitting in the, if there's enough to come out. Yep, there it goes. There's some sitting in the bowl. So I'm sure y'all remember one of the other things was this wire that went to the battery here had been chewed by mice or squirrels, whatever. So I took that you know, and I just repaired it with heat shrink tubing and basically butt connectors, heat shrink butt connectors, and I have a special crimp tool and then heat shrink tubing. So that's that. So this will go ultimately to the battery right here. That'll be your negative. But I rigged up also a little, basically a homemade jumper cable. So I didn't want to invest in a battery just yet. Let's make sure she's going to run these for a lot of different things so you can get a good quality connection and quickly connect and disconnect. And I just have this marine battery up on the table. So that's that. So the wiring's fixed, and then we have this cool system. What else was I going to show you? Another thing I learned was, for all you spree people out there, don't turn it over without this cover on, because that Bendex, and I think I said this earlier, but I actually noticed there's a little bit of binding. Like, I put the cover on and it turns over a lot faster, put it that way, because the Bendex is kicking out a little too far and it's tilting, so it's putting a lot of, it's like binding on the starter. So this little indentation, or whatever you'd call it, in the cover catches the end of that Bendex and holds it, you know, in the perfect position, and it turns over much better with that. So that's that. And I picked up I think this I had off of another project. This is the vacuum line that goes back to that vacuum petcock back. The fuel tank sits right here. This is the vacuum line. You can see it there, and then this top one I'm shaking that's the actual fuel line. But I think I'm going to switch this over to this line. This is actual vacuum tube. This is a little bigger. I believe this is like fuel tube off of a small 2-stroke gas hedger. So we'll see. Either one should be fine. It's just a vacuum line. I don't know what I'm forgetting other than, so the other big thing I'm going to do today, so I'm waiting on the tank and then hopefully do that. But I noticed there's some dirt. There was dirt in this tailpipe, and I poked it with a screwdriver and it kind of pushed inside. But I'm wondering how clogged up this exhaust is, and if that could be part of the reason it's not wanting to start. And I have to take this off anyway to get to the nut to change the tire. So might as well just pull it off. Hopefully that'll help with it starting. And then, like I said, I can go ahead and pull the wheel. I could go ahead and pull the tire and everything. If it runs, that's probably, if I pull this off and it runs, then I'm gonna go ahead and pull the wheel off and get the tire off. I can do all that before I even have the new one. The little oil pump. I don't know exactly how it works. I'm assuming it's driven off of some part of the motor inside, obviously, so that it keeps the same RPM as the motor and pumps in the correct amount of oil. But regardless of exactly how it works, that's the pump, right? That's the reservoir, the tank, the line. Well, this is a new line I put. Here's the old one. It was really brittle. I might have already showed y'all this. But if you look, there might be a tiny bit of oil. So we'll watch that as we turn it over later and see if it fills with oil, right? I noticed when I was turning it over, a little bit of oil dribbled back onto the pump, but to me it didn't seem like enough. But we'll see. But either way, I'm going to play it safe and put some oil in the gasoline as well. Hopefully these rusty exhaust bolts will bust loose. If you don't have a set of ratcheting wrenches, I highly recommend getting one. Let's see. Get down. Doesn't feel too good. I don't see any way to fit a socket on there. I wonder. Let me look around and see after I brag on these. I want to see if I have a standard, not an open end, I don't even know what you call it, standard wrench with the round end and 10 millimeter. And then, because I feel like I'm only going to get one shot on this, I'm gonna pause this and look for that, and I'm gonna hit it with a little more lube. There it goes. Well, that came. That's kind of funny. Curious if this is stopped up. I'm gonna try to just turn it over for a second with the since we got the exhaust manifold off. I just want to see. My game plan was to get the tank back on there before I try to start it, but since I just want to see if that exhaust manifold, if it'll do anything without that on there. Let's see. So I got the negative. Let's take for good. I just lubed the cylinder through the exhaust. What do you call that? Manifold. So I'm going to just hit it with a little bit of starting fluid. Let's just see if she does anything. Just in case, because this will be loud if she does start. So I could look at her, and the battery's low on the camera too, of course. That's not normal. Yeah, she just popped. She ain't done that yet. Yes! Yes, that's what it was. I turned it off because I don't know what all. I want to make sure the cylinder is lubricated. Yes. Okay, I got the battery hooked up, tank full or half full, whatever. Y'all saw that. Let's my concern is, well, I have this super long fuel line. I can tell there's no fuel in it. So this petcock may not work. So let's just turn it over and see if it lets fuel out of the tank. Well, that was amazing, but I'm honestly thinking it might have started off of what was already in the there is fuel in this filter now. I do see the oil moved up in the oil pump tube. So also, sorry, I'm wearing earplugs because this is so loud. So I think the oil pump actually is working. I see the oil moving through the tube. So it's about to get super smoky. I'm going to spray a little more lube into the cylinder because I'm just not 100% sure if it's running. That's the electric gauge. I'm not 100% sure if it's running on the fuel that was either already in the cylinder or in the carburetor, you know what I'm saying, which had starting fluid and stuff, or if it's running on this 32-to-1 premix. And I'm just extremely, I'd hate to go through all this and just ruin the rings. I also know I should have the shroud on, but we won't run it for long. I could throw that right on. Let's just try it again for a minute. can't believe how quick that started. I'm gonna put the exhaust back on and this shroud because I'm also concerned about it burning something. I don't know exactly what it would burn. Something right here in the cylinder or something, maybe without this exhaust. So I'm gonna bore scope the muffler. I've blown it out with compressed air and ran some water through it, and now I'm putting the scope in. This is where the exhaust comes out. It's literally like roughly a half-inch hole, and I don't want to go up in there too far because I'll get it stuck. But look at I guess it's rust, and there's some insects and a little bit of dirt. That's what it looks like up in there, and it wouldn't even run with this on there. So I don't know, I'm just going to keep I might pour some of the rust eater stuff that's in the gas tank into here, and then just keep rinsing it with water and flushing it with compressed air. Just thought it was kind of interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and put the tank on. I haven't put the sending unit on yet because I have it soaking. The wiring harness is like right in the way. I'm going to go ahead and put the sending unit back in. Got the rubber gaskets already in place. It's not perfect. It's a lot better. Like I said, initially, let's see if we can get this thing. I know we heard it run, but let's see. Don't break this. See if we can just get it going, and then we'll continue to improve it. And my dumb butt did not really pay a lot of attention when I took this out. I know there's a little arrow, so this will probably be interesting. Let's see, these probably point this direction. It's this is, you can probably tell, it's a 32-to-1 pre-mix. I put the muffler back on. I noticed we're missing a couple bolts here. I'll zoom you on at some point, just a couple bolts that help hold the muffler. They're just not there. I know they weren't there before. But I got that on, but I want to go ahead and put this on so I can let it, if it starts, we can actually let it run for a few minutes and not worry about it overheating. That's right, I was going to try to blow that out one last time. If it'll even run with this muffler, hope it will. Man. Really hope it'll run with the exhaust on. Shoot, the fact that it runs at all, that is awesome. let's fire. Let's go fire it up. I just don't really see why I couldn't just let it sit here and run for a minute. I see fuel in here. Let's see. Fingers crossed. It would have started already in the without that exhaust on there. It doesn't want to run. It's weird. I blew air through it. I put water through it, and I pulled a vacuum on it. What was that noise? I'm forgetting. I don't think anything. Key is on. Switch is on. I was just reaching up to get it. You have to hold the brake. I gotta hold the brake and hit the button. I want to be able to give it a little gas too. A little throttle. Let's try it here. Can I hold that side? Oh, what is going on with that? Oh, it's because the drum is off. I'm just messing anything up. Plenty of oil. I'm going to show you all the headlights actually working. And not only that, the dash lights. I don't know if you can tell on there, but just don't want to knock it off the kickstand. The dash lights are actually working. The fuel gauge isn't working, but I forgot to plug in the sending unit. So probably won't do that with it running. I don't want to blow a fuse, but as best I can tell, it's about to die. Yep. best I can tell, it looks to me like there's oil in that line. You could sort of see it moving up. So I think we're getting double oil, which might be why it stalled. It might be fouling out the plug. But how awesome is that, y'all? This thing sat for 30 years. I can't, would it be 39 or 40 years old? It sat for 30 years. And all I did was clean the carb. I didn't rebuild it. What else? Cleaned out the muffler. Obviously have this battery hooked up. Had to clean out the gas tank and put some new fuel lines. But just, man, I hate to brag on Honda, but almost have to. That's just cool. And so I do have some parts on order. I don't recall if I've said that yet or not, but I have a air filter coming forward, a new spark plug, tubes, tires, a battery. That might be about it. So check this out. The fuel gauge works. The fuel gauge actually works. It was down at E when it was unplugged. And that's the turn signal indicator. Let's see if the high beam. That's the left. Well, I don't think the high beam indicator doesn't work. The high beam works, so I can tell it got brighter. So that doesn't work. Pretty amazing though. That's obviously working too. All the bulbs work. It's amazing. Incredible. So that's the drum brake. That's the shoes. They look pretty good to me. And the little drive gears. That's pretty cool. And here's the wheel. I'm just going to go ahead and I ordered tires and tubes, so I can go ahead and get these off while I'm waiting for them to get here. And I might even paint the wheel. We'll see. She's rough. That's the end, the side that faces the drive. So there's little drive cogs in there, and that's the drum. Pretty cool. Everything is so modular on this thing. We're multi-function. Like literally, the wheel, the brake drum is the wheel, and the hub, right? I guess that's the hub, the drive hub, the brake drum, the wheel is all one piece. But you can see this tire's rough. I squeeze it. After much prying, I got this loose. I just need to take the nut off. That's the nut that locks the tube to the wheel so it doesn't spin and make the valve stem crooked. But look at how rusty this is on the inside too. This back end is worse than the front because it was kind of sitting down in the dirt. So I might try to sand and paint this, but let me go ahead and get this nut off. Ooh, that stuff in the tank stinks. This is what I put in the gas tank the second go around for the rust, is this stuff. There's somewhere between 10 and 15 bucks. Ta-da! I'm not sure. I don't recall if we ever changed these. So I don't know if this is the original or not, but I do know it says made in Japan right there. Not sure. Could probably research and find out what tire they came with. Okay, you guys can make fun of me with my screwdriver, with my one flat and one Phillips screwdriver. But this is, I'm just getting it off. I'm not worried about the tube. Well, maybe I should have been, because this was actually a good tube, but I don't think I want to ride anywhere with a 30, or I don't know, at least 30, possibly 40-year-old tube, would you? Let's see, this is the hardest part, just getting her going. Especially when you don't have a, well, I haven't done this in a long time. I used to do my dirt bike all the time, put a new tire on my bicycle or whatever when I was a kid. Okay, man, I'm a little worried about that bearing getting all gross. Imagine that's difficult to find. I doubt it'll stick, but I'll attempt to put a little blue tape on it. I could hit it with brake clean, but there's grease on it. I probably should hit it with brake clean and then re-grease it, but we'll see. This would be good for painting too. If it survives the sanding process. Anyway, we'll just start with that and kind of see what we want to do. The wheel on the left is the front wheel. That's just bare metal mostly, and a little bit of paint left. This one is the front one. I've done sand it and hung it up and cleaned it. I wiped it down with lacquer thinner and done in a hole. I'm not that short. And this one has one coat of finished paint on it. That's the back one. So I'm going to prime this. Let's see. I have some self-etching primer for the aluminum. It's you know, what you want to use on aluminum. This is the scooter turn signal thing. That's all bracket. It's all bent. It's actually cracked, and it's been welded. Probably my dad back in the day. It's been welded and cracked and then bent again. So I'm out here because I didn't want to do this on the workbench with the scooter gas tank. You know, a foot away. Seems stupid. Close enough to hold it up there and look at it. It's gonna have to be re-welded on that crack, but I want to make sure, you know, get it straight, get it right first. I'm gonna drop this in some water. I meant to bring a bucket over here, but I didn't. I haven't checked this rear differential fluid yet. I'm gonna pull that and hopefully something comes out. Probably need to change that. Pretty cold this morning. It might be thick. Golly, it looks tan. Just smells like oil. Doesn't really smell like gear oil or gas or anything like that. Obviously not gas, but I'm gonna say that's fine. At least for you know, a few miles. This is the front brake drum assembly, and And I just thought I would clean that up a little bit because it was super gunky. I've actually already cleaned it a little bit. Try a toothbrush here. That's some brake clean. Probably be driving this thing down a dirt road first thing, so I'm not gonna get carried away with this, but I tend to get carried away with everything anyway. This is the air cleaner cover. I think back in the day I must have sprayed some of that air filter stuff, that sticky spray you put on like dirt bike air filters for extremely dusty conditions, because we did four-wheelers and all kinds of stuff back then too. And anyway, that's I think why everything is such a goopy mess. But I'm just going to try to clean this up in the air box a little, because I believe my air filter is coming today. Here's the new air filter. And the thing is, got these little particles on it. Wonder what that crap is. It's very thin. I guess that's the. Just think it'd be a little thicker. Let's. Sure, I got all that paper towel. Looks like it. Yeah, seems to fit pretty nice. Actually fits real nice and snug, and it feels like good quality actually. Okay, that's the air intake. I was wondering, so that's obviously designed, there's those little holes that I blew out, turned back this way, kind of designed to, well, there's your, if you go into water up to here, up at the top of the tire, you're going to suck water into the motor, but it's turned back that way so you don't go through a puddle and it splashes into the motor. I've done that before. I've actually busted a connecting rod on an engine before, going through wasn't even that deep. It was a Jeep too. Alright, I'm going to try to get this off. I want to try to get the belt changed. Not sure if this thing will have enough ooga doogas. Nice. I'm not sure how much clutch material comes on there, but I'm honestly not sure where the, you know what I'm saying, you see that looks like pretty thin to me. Thing's heavy. Okay, what I was wondering is if this belt was directional or if it had a V or anything. I got an exact replacement. Here's the new one. It's the actual Honda belt. How the heck did dirt daubers even get in there? The thing had a cover on it. Bolted on. Pretty cool. This is going actually better than I expected. I've been just running this this same wheel on this front fork that was all rusty. It was chrome here and like a gray paint here, and just honestly didn't take near as long as I expected. Get the visible part here, and anyway, that's what it looks like when you polish the chrome a little bit. See if I can, some of the part I haven't touched over here, if you can see how the chrome looked rough, and I haven't done that yet. So anyway, what I'm thinking is I'll keep grinding this a little more, And then I think I'm just gonna leave this, instead of trying to paint this. My brother and I were talking originally, we were talking about maybe painting this like silver, the same color as the wheels, and this black. But after looking at it, I think maybe if I just put a little bit of corrosion resistant, like a oil spray, you know, like almost like a chain lube that'll stick to it. Try that, see how it looks. Just leave that chrome with some lube on it and maybe paint that either black or silver. So I'm just gonna go with that, and like I said, just go to here. So Jeez. Golly, that's thin. What mixed right? It's still running. The spark plug gap, I looked it up. It says from 0.6 millimeter to 0.7 millimeter. So I'm going to go with 0.65. That'd be right in the middle. Man. Call that good. Yeah, so this is supposed to be in the coil. I would replace the coil, but as far as I could find, the factory original isn't available, so you're stuck getting some Chinese junk. Shoot, this is actually not the same spark plug. This says BPR6HS and this says BPR4HS. The box says 6. Let's see if they're physically the same. And obviously you don't, if this was substantially or longer, the piston could come up and hit it. So looks the same. I wonder if they're like a different heat range or something. I'm gonna try googling that. This is the standard. The 8 is for very hot climates or prolonged wide open throttle. It does 30. You're always on wide open throttle. Honda lists a BP4 for trips north of the Arctic Circle. NGK has a 7, which seems to be a good compromise between the easily fouled 8 and the hotter running 6. I'm just going to run the 6. Gapped. Man. It's weird how I guess because it's compressing that fresh washer, that compression washer they put on there, I guess to prevent spark plugs from backing out this piece right here. So it felt completely different than the one that had been in and out probably at least 10 times. Alright, this thing will stay connected. Not good. Come on, baby. Yeah, it ain't worth nothing. That's just garbage. This is feeling worse than the other one. Obviously it's been a problem. There's tape all over it and it's stuck to the spark plug. I don't know how hard it would be to just change the end. Just to change this. Alright, the paint's dry. I'm going to go ahead and remove this paper. I'll spray a little that rust inhibitor on the chrome that I sanded. See if maybe it'll keep it from rusting. This is that surface shield stuff. It's kind of sticky. So this is the wheel after painting, the rear wheel. It's still taped up. And this is the new tire that came. It's directional, so I'll have to try to remember that to drive with an arrow that way. It's a Kenda brand, I think. Yes, Kenda. Had good reviews, made in Taiwan. So I've got that, and then I've got the new tube here. So hopefully that'll work out, and some soapy solution here. So let's go ahead and pull this out. I put that in there to kind of protect the splines of the drive splines. Got some tape on here on this little, this is the brake drum. I'm gonna put the rear wheel back on, finally. Woohoo! blocks of wood. That is a super tight fit. There she goes. Whoa. I want to hit that with an impact that I, of course, just put away. Off camera, I ended up putting another tube in this front wheel because I kept using this soapy water mix, and I've had it sitting for days. Shoot, maybe close to a week. I had the original setup sitting in the boat for like a week or whatever, and checked the PSI. Should have wrote it down. I want to say it was 22 last night and 20 this morning. Not 100% sure on that, but that could be inaccurate. But I am 100% sure I was putting soap around the perimeter initially, at least when I initially did it, because I didn't want to leave the soap on there, so I cleaned it off and didn't want to do it again. But initially, I put soap on here, and I could see a tiny bubble pop up, like maybe around the nut of the, and you gotta remember there's a tube in here, so I'm thinking, I don't know, but I assumed that the air was trapped, escaping from the tube, but sort of trapped between the tire and the rim, and then finding its way out, here around the bottom of that nut, and maybe in a couple places around the rim. But I took the tube out. This is it. Soaked it with bubbles. Kind of cool, right? How big it gets, and it reads like no PSI because there's no pressure to contain it. Kind of interesting. But I couldn't find a leak on it after I took it out. I also, before I put the new one in here off camera, I inflated it like this. Did the same thing, look, just to see if it had a leak from the factory, but I don't see any holes in this. This is the one that I took out, which was brand new, and doesn't seem to be leaking. So I don't know. I'm going to leave this sitting. I'm not sure if it's possible with, because I'm talking about it was a really super slow bubble. I used to work at a tire shop for a while, but it was automotive, right? So they didn't have tubes. So if you saw a bubble of air coming out, there was a leak. I'm not sure if when you're dealing with tubes, if it's possible that during the inflation process, a little bit of air can get caught between the wheel and the tire, and then it's sort of sneaking out. It almost seems like it would have to, right? Like how there's air in there, and then this bead isn't necessarily going to hold air, so it'll slowly seep out, and maybe that's what I was seeing. I don't know if y'all know, you're real super familiar doing tubes, put it in the comments, but I'm talking about a super, super slow bubble, like a tiny, tiny air bubble every, I don't know, 5 seconds or so, and that was just, right after the initial inflation. When it was still all soapy, I noticed that it was covered, when it was covered in bubbles, I noticed that, and I was like, well, I don't want to put that on, and then just have to not only do what I just did, but also take it back off. So, long story long, I'm going to leave this, the one I just took out, leave it just like this and just keep an eye on it. I can't really do a pressure check. I know this is not a low pressure gauge, but it does read. If I read it, I can show y'all. If I read with the tube in the tire, even though it's in a low pressure gauge, there you go. It's roughly 23. I should try to remember that. 23, 24. Okay, try to do that on here, it does nothing. And the only thing I can come up with is because there's nothing, there's no PSI, because this weak rubber is just expanding. Anyway, it's all kind of a science experiment. I guess I find it interesting, but so that's the game plan, and I'm going to go ahead and put this on the front, and I'll bring y'all in for that. And I also ordered a patch kit, so we'll possibly have a backup tube and a patch kit, and let's see where it goes from there. Be a little science experiment. In the future, I'll give you an update whether or not this one leaked and what happened with all this, but I found it interesting. So I'm going to clean off this front axle and put this tire back on. She's a little crusty. She's not too bad. A little bit of gunk I thought I'd scrape off. That's good enough. I'll probably be driving it through the mud. Crazy. Goes up there. That slides into there. This obviously went on here. I'm trying not to scratch the wheel. Cool, man.
Oh, the brakes went on good.
There it went. Back just to the outside.
Nailed it.
This is, what's this, amateur hour?
Clean, man. It holds on.
Pretty good. I'll just start it up. Start the drive will go on fire. The whole thing.
Grab the camera.
Little blue locks right on this. Ooh.
A DuckTales. A woo.
Yeah, this stuff is a little bit lackluster, man. I might go back to the. Here, did it again. Last time I just threw a nail away.
Oh, I use like a paper clip. It
Well,
was sitting.
Be smart and leave the nail in the bucket. Yes.
Oh, yeah. This is all set up for this?
Mm-hmm. It's proism.
How's this fucking go? I have to go on tighten, right? What's the torque spec?
Alright, you'll hear it. And you know what? Let's see. Is this
Checking for spinnies?
Yeah.
I'll get back here.
Because that seemed that doesn't sound so good.
That's probably that brake.
Oh, that's the brake, yeah.
Yeah, shit.
You know what resistance
You know what I'm seeing?
lose MPGs.
I'm seeing a little bit of
The tire's not flat.
I don't know. It might be. You know, sometimes that bead. Sometimes you can kind of pull it out.
I tried to squish it I bet as it rolls though,
Yeah.
it'll seat.
I wonder if she'll do it. I can. Yeah. Anyway,
Let's tighten it a little more and see if it's still, because that's not tight at all. But
it's going the wrong way.
I don't really like this at all.
It's like tightening a lot, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it,
It's almost I want to have a damn speck on that. I noticed the rear wheel was leaning this way, and the whole back seemed like it was cocked this way. I'd noticed it a while back. I think it got jumped when I was a kid. And I decided to try to look into that a little bit before I put all the plastics and exhaust back on. So I've got the I've got the whole thing. Got the gas tank off. This is the oil line. The whole motor kicked to the side. Scratched my new paint a little bit. No big deal. I'll touch that up. But I did find it started with me pulling the bolt. There's a bolt that holds the rear on in the shock, and I thought maybe just the bolt was bent. But when the bolt wasn't bent, I investigated a little further, and I found this piece. So this is where it bolts up. If you look, you could see this piece is slightly bent that way, kind of curved, and that's making this piece out of level. So it's making the rear axle sort of sit, or the whole rear wheel and motor and everything sort of sit on an angle. And I just looked, and as far as I can tell, this piece is not available. It doesn't look like it ever was. It's not. When you look at the part schematic, it shows, the bolt, the nut, that little rubber piece up under there, but I did not see this piece listed. I didn't see it where I looked on that Honda site, on that schematic. There was no number for that part. Or if I could get it, I would just order that, because if you pull that bottom bolt there and just pop that in, it would be a quick job with this all taken apart. But since I can't find the part, I'm going to attempt just heating it with this torch. That's why I removed the gas tank. So I'm going to heat this and just try and straighten it a little bit. I don't know that it would actually really even matter. It might feel a little funny riding it, like crab walking. But structurally, I think it's fine. It was kind of under-designed, in my opinion. I think it should have been built a little stronger, either stronger steel here or maybe I forget what they call them, but a swing arm, at least on one side, because it's kind of underbuilt, in my opinion. Maybe a second shock, just something, another attachment point, because obviously it was weak because it bent. So that's what I'm going to do, is go ahead and heat that and try to bend that. So hopefully nothing will explode. Yeah, I probably should have done this first, but I didn't realize it was as bad till we put the rear wheel on, flipped the kickstand up, and it was very close to the kickstand was very close to the tire on one side, so that's why I suddenly decided to do this. I really hope this doesn't burst into flames. There's a little bit of residual, but the oil tank is mostly drained and the fuel tank is off the bike completely. No wiring around there, right? It's all pulled back. So there's that rubber bushing up there is burning. That's great. So this isn't going to work. Let's see if it's hot enough to do anything. That sucks. Yeah, I just crispied up that rubber. Is that just for the kickstand? Damn it. That smells horrible. I actually think it straightened it a little bit. That's crazy. You could still see that piece is not horizontal though. So it was leaning, two directions. It's obviously, it's better though for sure. That rubber just wants to go right on fire. I don't want to Press my luck. That's yeah. It's really hard to get parts for this thing. They're okay. Got the painted exhaust on now. I can't put the plastics back on until I get the this spark plug connector end. So if you can see in there, it's broken, and that's supposed to be here tomorrow. Okay, she hadn't been cleaned yet, but here she is before I take her. I'm about to take y'all for a little ride. Got the fenders on. Fresh exhaust. I had pressure washed the fenders in the video like y'all saw, but have not kind of put any kind of armor all or anything like that on them. So, alright. I got these cool mirrors for the scooter off of Amazon. Let's see here. This will be the right one, I guess. I think it has a so that's too big, but I think it has an adapter. Possibly. Anyway, I guess I'll get these put on and show you.